Steve Enlow over from Tulsa, Oklahoma, racing his USAC midget in a 6th year of racing. And on this day, I guess you come over with pure victory in mind because Tulsa this afternoon got whipped. How bad was that?
65-0, I think. But it was our state team beat us.
That's a big and intense rivalry over there.
Yeah, they don't get to play much, but people in Tulsa has been wanting to play them for quite a while. And, you know, John Cooper went to Arizona State, and he used to be our coach at Tulsa. And our teams haven't been very good since he left.
Is this your first night here?
Yes, first time we've been out here at Tucson.
Why Raven Raceway, Tucson, Arizona tonight?
Well, we've been wanting to do some more racing. There was only like one race left back in the east, which was Eldora this weekend, and it was about the same traveling distance for us, and we figured we'd come out here, stay for a couple of weeks to get 4 or 5 races.
Had you heard about us?
Yeah, I've heard lots of good things about this track out here.
No bad things?
Not yet, not yet.
Well, we all be rascals in this business, whether it be owner, sponsor, or driver, I guess. That just seems to be a part of what it is that's in our blood in the first place that makes us associate with the sport of automobile racing. What is it for you up ahead? Are you one of those guys, you've got the age, you've got the build for it, that I would hazard a right field guess you might have Indy Championship car in mind?
More like NASCAR. If I got anything else, I like to go to NASCAR racing. You know, Kenny Schrader's running with them now and everything. We know him, and he's a pretty good friend, and he's doing a good job. And I think that's where the money's at, really. I think they do better than the Indy cars. And they do well on television now, too. Oh, yeah. You look at the people, and they run a lot more races, too, than the Indy guys.
What is so neat about racing, makes you come out week after week, the kind of expenses that we all know goes with it, especially one of these machines? What makes you tick?
It's just the thrill of the speed out there and racing with all these guys. Like, you know, I've run with USAC. This is my 2nd year with USAC. I was Rookie of the Year with them last year in the national deal. And running with Vogler and Kenyon and Johnny Parsons Jr. and stuff, I've learned an awful lot running with those guys. It's just a lot of fun.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Steve, and good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Russell, it seems like only yesterday that April 4th was the beginning out here, and here we are in the 11th hour of it all. Your perspective this late in the season as it pertains to you and a new campaign in '88 here?
I'm looking forward to it. Obviously we didn't do all we wanted to do this year. What we're letting Carl get away with so many wins and us so few, but finishing 2nd was gratifying, and I just hope we can win it next year.
What's it been like across the course of this season? It's been fantastic from the perspective that Jack Jacobs and I get to enjoy up above. It seems like a lot of parity has come to this division. Seems like you guys always race full out, put on exciting races. I guess I may as well be brutally honest and say late models have become my favorite, and I think a lot of folks feel that way.
Well, I think it's a popular class. It's what people seem to relate to more of what they use themselves, and I think that's a big factor. And just the size of them over, say, a sprint car or a midget, I think has some draw effect, and I think it's natural enough. And Tucson's always been a late model town, and I think it's going to continue to be one.
You talked earlier about education this year. How would you sum up what it is you've learned in '87, and how would you apply it to another campaign?
Well, number one, we wouldn't break so many motors and have so many DNFs. That hurt us quite badly. I think we had 5 times we never made the finish line, and that just killed us. We had a lot of seconds. We didn't have as many wins as we wanted, but I guess we're 2nd in line with the number of wins we've had. And the only thing positive about it is that we allowed Carl to win what he did. He could have been track champion with us getting some more, and maybe Rick Sipes getting some more or somebody else, but by us allowing him to have more than his share, he did get the national Sun Belt deal, and I think that's good.
What would you change coming into a new campaign?
Well, just a little more reliability. We had enough horsepower, we had a good crew, we had a good car, and we had the best sponsor we've had in Coors. And of course the other fellows that have helped have been good, and We just need more reliability. We were fast enough most of the time, but just didn't stay together.
Best of luck to you in whatever your next step is.
Thanks, Tom.
But then we know one of your steps in your past was motorcycle racing, and we know what those guys are like.
Right. Well, one thing we know, we're not going back to that. Nah, we'll be back.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thanks, Tom.
Good interview, as always. Knock it off.
I'm here with Leroy Waltz, NASCAR Winston late model driver. Leroy, I noticed that you got rid of your old car or what have you, and now you're driving this car number 34. Tell us whose car is this now, and what are you doing driving it?
It belonged to Peter Hernandez out of Bowie, and we just, well, I started out driving it in Phoenix up at Firebird, and then he wanted me to start driving it down here for him, so we got down here finally again.
How you been doing up there in Phoenix at Firebird?
Oh, we've been running in the middle of the pack and up 5th, 6th, somewhere in there, so it's not a lot better than the one I had.
You glad to be back home down here in Tucson?
Yeah, I like this track.
Like a lot better. What's Pete going to be doing now? Is he going to be driving it all the rest of the year, or are you going to be the driver of this car?
Well, I'll probably finish out the year here. Yeah, I'll finish out this year, and then we'll go see what happens next year. He wants me to drive it next year too.
So that may be your plans for next year. You don't exactly know at this time. You may be driving Hernandez's car. Or
yeah.
Any plans of building one of your own again?
Well, I don't know. It costs so much to come out and compete with these other cars. It just costs too much. We just can't. I can't afford it. But,
have you been having fun so far this year?
Oh yeah.
Having a good time?
Yeah.
Are you using Pete Hernandez's pit crew and the whole bit?
Yeah. Yeah. He's just been real good.
What made him decide to turn the wheels over to you? Did he just want to quit racing, or?
Well, he had another driver. And I guess. Well, the other driver got another ride or something. I don't know what.
But he just approached you and asked you to drive the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Huh? Well, that's good. Well, listen, good luck to you out on the racetrack tonight. Keep it in the safe lane, and hope you do well.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, thank you, Leroy.
Thank y'all.
It's Jack Jacobson. I'm here with John Hibner, USAC Midget, car number 5A. John, you've been looking good out there so far this year. How you doing in the point standing?
Well, we finally got this car done. Been running it, this is probably it's the third time out here. We've been trying to get the bugs worked out of it, but I've been running like Weiler's car. I run it at the beginning of the year, and I guess I think we're in the top 10 finally after last time. Coming right along.
Coming right along.
Yeah.
Who's sponsoring this car?
Well, we got Jim Kane Equipment, and then Ellis Racing, the guy that built the car, and Ron's Racing Products. He gave us all the injectors and fuel pump, oil pump, all that, and then the A&M nut and bolt out of Phoenix, all the nuts and bolts. So working out pretty good.
How about the power plant on this and the suspension? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
It's the Chevy 2, or marine motor is what they like to say. It's like 140 horse that comes in boats. It starts like that, and then you put the injectors and mag and dry sump it and everything, and then as far as the suspension, it's just a 4-bar, like most of them are.
4-bar suspension. How about your career? How long you been racing the USAC Midgets?
About 5 years, I guess. We started 81, I guess, and doing real good. And then it's kind of funny, about 2 years ago, we were back on this, when I used to have that swims tour, and got upside down in Dallas, and it hurt me pretty bad, I guess. I don't remember any of it. And then so we got her back, started running the beginning of last year, then got upside down in Memorial Day, and the doctor said, you better just cool it for a while. So I sat out, and then this year we started getting back into it again.
What happens to you when you do get upside down like you did in Dallas and you don't remember it? How hard is it for you to come back and get behind the wheel of this automobile?
That's what we've been kind of discussing, because we're trying to get the car, get the bugs out of it, but then we don't know if some of it may be me too. I'm thinking back of how I run 3 years ago, trying to compare now to then, and I think there's lot of it's subconsciously. You know, there might be stuff that's not letting me go like I should, but I would, as far as remember, and I think that may be good as far as getting back in. It might not be so good as if I should be doing it or not, you know.
When was your best season that you've had so far? Was it
85.
85?
That was, yeah, this deal happened the end of 85. Just, I was leading the points in Arizona when they were running in Phoenix. I was leading the points when we went back on that thing, and then, you know, I missed the last 2 or 3 races, I guess, and so ended up 4th. So that was the best. I had my first win that year and everything, just a good year up until that happened.
Now, is this your dad, the USAC official that's out here tonight?
Yeah.
What does he think of your racing career?
He, you know, he was raced and everything, and he, he got us into it. You know, me and my brother.
So he's supportive of you and encouraging you.
Right, right. Then we ended up, well, then after my last deal last year, he, you know, he sold everything, and I ended up buying this car and some parts from him, trying to get it going. So this is actually my car. You know, he's out of it as far as, he built my motors. Is, you know, what he does.
Well, listen, John, good luck to you on your racing career, and good luck to you tonight out on the racetrack.
Okay,
nice
thank
talking
you.
With you. All right.
Chuck Boslin, I've been teased an awful lot because it seems like every time I introduce or talk about your car, I got to call it my favorite, Patriotic T-Bird. I have a feeling it's yours, too.
Oh, you bet. And I appreciate what you've done for me up there this year.
A lot of history to this car, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this car is Ivan Russell's old car from several years ago. It was a championship car and trashed, totaled. And I'm a body man by trade, and I've taken it from trash and brought it back alive again. And we worked all year on it, as everybody can see out there. We're not going to give up. We're not going to quit. And when we get hit, we come back and do whatever we can to get back out there and race it again, because that's what we do.
Well, it was an inaugural season in many respects for all of us. What did you learn, and how would you best apply it to an 88 campaign for Chuck Boslin?
We've learned many things. I ran mini stock out here for 3 years. I won the mini stock championship the last year that I ran. And we've tried to apply everything to this car that we did with mini stock. And similar, a lot different. You know, it's a lot harder. The chassis is a lot harder to bring in, and we feel that we're there now. It's the end of the season. Every week we have come up. We've applied ourselves. We've learned something. The car has gotten better all year, so we feel that we've had a really good season. And next year, I'm talking to a couple sponsors right now. If I can get on to these people and
so
have them
important, aren't
you
they?
betcha, because every penny in this car is mine. And if I can get some corporate sponsorship behind me, next year we may have a new car. We may still run this car, but definitely if we have some money, we can be competitive. It's tough without the money.
If I have some money when this sucker becomes available, make me one of your first calls.
You betcha. You betcha. I sure will.
What about Carl Trimmer, his dominance this year? Have guys like him been of any help to you? Have you asked? Has the help been volunteered?
Well, there's been several people that have helped me a lot this year. Carl does his own thing. Carl's been racing for a good many years, and normally I would say Carl is too busy in the pits to bother him down here while he's getting ready to run. Herb Lang, anytime you want to ask him anything, you know, he's there. He helps me. Ivan Russell over here has helped me on a couple occasions on different things. One guy that's helped me along over a couple of years, not so much this year, is Bill Cheeseburg. And Bill isn't racing this year, but the man knows his stuff for setting up a chassis. And he's helped me a lot. So there's several people out here that will give a helping hand. And in return, there's several guys in the Charger class, or there's a couple guys in the late model class that anytime I can give them a hand, I give them a hand.
That's what's so neat about this brotherhood of automobile racing. Hey, it's been a lot of fun watching you here in 87, and I'll tell you what, I know you're going to get the kind of sponsors and help you need. I know you're going to be back bigger than I can't wait till 88.
I sure hope so, because
for
next,
number 90.
Yeah, next year we'll be back in full force.
Thank you, Chuck.
All righty.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
You're as good at this as you are at driving. Now, well, Terry Green, I suppose with this being O'Reilly Chevy night at Raven Raceway, you should come armed with all kinds of gadgets.
That's it. We got it all loaded with all the good stuff.
What is that in that miniature Terry Green O'Reilly Chevy machine? It's got to be a midget driver, as close as I can.
That's exactly it. That's the car we use for track testing.
Track testing is something you did for reality here in 1987. Let's face it, you learned a lot about tires, a lot about cars.
Right.
Did you learn anything about Terry Green? And if so, what's the new Green going to be all about in '88?
We're going to be a little tougher, I think, next year. We're going to hit it a little harder. This year was really a growing year. It takes a while to put together a pit crew that's compatible with each other, and I'm pretty hard to work with, and we've had some people come and go, and now I got a group that's really sticking with it. And we tried a lot of different combinations. We run different things than everybody else runs, different motor and tires and stuff, but we're pretty close right now.
You're one of the only guys I've ever heard say, I'm pretty hard to work with.
Yeah, I am. I really am. I expect a lot of everybody, and I expect them to be able to think what I'm thinking, and that's pretty hard for somebody to come up with. And it's part of something you got to have. That's like you notice. I get pretty good tire changes when I come in, and that's because these guys are ready and they know what I want. And if the tables were turned, I think I'd be the other way. I'd know what the guy wanted on his car. And these guys do a good job.
Is there extra pressure on you tonight, or does it kind of reach out to you as it's a party atmosphere? Hey, if I run well, I run well. If I don't, I don't.
Well, no, I always want to run well. Pressure's always on me to run well. Tonight, the pressure's on to, I don't know, I had some phone calls tonight and said there's going to be a lot of eyes on you tonight, and just go out there and do a good job because they're going to watch how you drive instead of where you finish. And but we'll see what happens when we get in the car.
You got such a big smile on your face. I would have to think part of that is, even though it seems as though it just started yesterday, April 4th is when it all began. This has been one whale of a smooth season. It's been a great season in many respects, and I think maybe all of us are a little mind-boggled as to what we can justifiably expect 88, 89, and hopefully many more years to be like.
Yeah, I think we're about 3 years ahead of schedule, really. A lot of us thought it would take a couple years for Dave Maness to get the track where it is right now. I mean, he's done a lot to get it here in one season, and it looks like it's only going to get better, and get better for everybody involved, too. It's, it's a full circle with sponsorships and spectators and racetrack promoter, and everything's starting to gel. Everything fixed together. If we didn't have spectators, we wouldn't have sponsors, and a lot of us wouldn't have sponsors, we wouldn't be racing. So it's all connected, and I think it's all starting to gel.
And if you wouldn't be racers, between that and an NFL strike, boy, we'd be bears to live with, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we wouldn't know what to do on the weekend, would we?
Thank you, Terry.
Okay, thank you,
Good
Tom.
luck,
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Down on the racetrack, front and center. So once again, we ask you to scoot over some for some of the late arrivals. Pick your lucky number program up before the races start tonight. Just $1.50 right at Tucson on tapes. And we'll go down the trackside to Mr. Dave Maness.
We're ready. Yeah, we got some power on. Good evening to all you ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful night we got tonight for sure. And I think we got a program that's going to be fantastic. NASCAR Winston late models and the USAC Midgets and the Dwarf cars, a heck of a combination. kind of a thank you to all you spectators. We put a little extra into this show to give you a good show tonight for being so consistent out here as fans. So thank you very much. Tom Boyd announced the sports scores today. U of A lost, naturally, in California, which was a bad deal, and Arizona State lost, too. So we lost here, but we're going to win here tonight. If I could have these people up here, we have a little girl here by the name of Missy. On a late model event here about 4 or 5 races ago, 6 races ago, I forgot how long it was. Going to ask Mama to tell me. How long ago was it?
It was August 1st.
I understand, Missy, we gave, I guess the Gibsons and them got together, Roy and Jackie and Mom and Dad, and they bought you a nice new bike for your birthday, huh?
Yeah,
What happened to your bike?
got stolen.
How come?
I don't know.
Was it locked up?
No.
Wasn't locked up. Okay, well, we got you something special. This is from Raven Raceway, and this is a bike lock. So the next time you get a bike, what are you going to do?
Lock it up.
You're going to lock it up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good girl. Now, you stand right here for a few minutes. We're going to do our national anthem. Carolyn, if you'd please come down. These are some other supportive racers we've had here that did a little fun thing one night, Roy Gibson, and they had a birthday party for Missy down here, and they gave her a brand new bike, and it did get stolen. And we're going to go ahead and do the national anthem here with Carolyn, and then we'll be back here in a second.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed?
Boy, I tell you. George Camp, are you over there? Now look, you can mess up here with a flag, but not over there. Now let's get this show on the road. All right, we're going to try one more time here. Carolyn, are you ready?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right. Well, Missy, if you had a wish right now, what would it be?
I don't know.
What would you like to have most of all?
New bike.
There it is. What do you think about that, huh? Make you happy? Well, take care of this one, and don't forget what this is for, okay? You promise?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, on behalf of Raven Raceway and you fans who's made the crowds this way, enables Linda and I to be able to do little things like this. Thank you very much. You all owe yourself a nice round of applause. This is her second Now, let's get her up there. This is her second birthday bike, unfortunately, but maybe this one will stay with her. Is that just like the other one?
Just like the other one.
Same color?
Same color.
It's got a Vicky Lim bow on it for you, sweetheart. Okay. Next week, do not forget this show. The USAC California Midgets are coming. We have almost 15 to 17 entries. Sleepy Trip, Robbie Flock, Denise Bennett, all of them will be here against our Arizona group. I'm looking for a field of about 40 cars. So that should be a superb show. They will qualify starting at 7 o'clock. For those of you who want to come out, the qualifying will start at 7 o'clock. The week after, the Wing Sprint Show Tri-State Championships we've been talking about. A lot of you have been asking me this week and calling. The entry list is so high, there will be no super modifieds running with this program. The sprint cars, Richard Griffin, we have committed. We have Billy Schumann committed. We have Randy Roberts from Denver, Colorado. We got the group out of New Mexico. I would think that we will have 30-plus wing sprint cars here for the first big show of the year for wing sprinters. Please attend that one. It'll be a good thing to come. We're going racing. Have a good time. We'll be back at intermission time. Thank you all for coming.
When Dave says he'll be back at intermission time, he means he'll be back with questions and answers. Your surprised me did not surprise Ivan Russel in the Coors Light Silver Bullet number 17, who punches it into the lead right away, and Carl Trimmer, settling for third through turn 1, is now running second down the back, shooting into turn 3. And how apropos that it would be those two at the top so early on here tonight. What a show they ought to put on. Talking with Ivan Russel down in the pit field tonight, and Trimmer's got him on the inside coming out of turn 1. Snatches that lead right away here in the first heat this evening of NASCAR Winston Late Models and O'Reilly Chevrolet Racing Night at Raven Raceway. And thanks again, race fans, for coming out. Carl Trimmer, Ivan Russel, and Dwayne Lang and Herb Lang filling out your top 4 right now and jockeying among themselves from there on back, including the likes of Jack Moore. So here they come out of turn 4 into lap number 3 with the old fox, Carl Trimmer, in the lead. Another old fox right behind him in the form of Ivan Russel.
Russell's hanging right in there, Tom. Something happened to Trimmer over there between 3 and 4, and his car slowed up. Russell got right behind him, but he's got it back on track right now, and Trimmer's looking real fine down the front straightaway.
Ivan told us tonight, sure, it's been tough watching Carl notch away all those victories here in '87. He didn't come right out and say it, but I think it was safe to say it could be read in between the lines as we roll through lap number 5 here, that he and several other drivers feel maybe they've got what it takes with a little bit of additional sponsorship help in 1988 to take some of that dominance away from Mr. Trimmer. We'll see.
Herb Lang.
Go ahead.
Herb Lang not looking too shabby either. He's right on Ivan's tail and giving him a challenge right now down the front straightaway.
Mike Hancock, meanwhile, back toward the back of the pack in the 73 AM car, has just not been his old self, has he?
No, he hasn't.
Ever since that crack up into the wall here in front of the grandstand area several weeks back, he has just not shown his old form. Of course, he's still got an ankle and foot problem. As we go into 1 lap to go, the white flag lap with Carl Trimmer in command in this one. Ivan Russell giving it his best effort, and Herb Lang trying to close it up in the number 87 machine. But it looks like that may be how they wrap it up here, as Whitwell is down inside turn 2, but it will not change. Our checkered flag flying for the old smart veteran himself, Carl Trimmer, Ivan Russell, and Herb Lang in that order at the finish, with Dwayne Lang in number 88 rounding out your top 4.
Well, Carl Trimmer snuck right in there into the lead in the early part of this race. Ivan Russell just could not catch Mr. Trimmer in that 17 Coors car. So Russell winds up in second place. Herb Lang winds up in third in that 87 car, and Herb's son Dwayne winds up in 4th place in the number 88 car. So there you have it, Trimmer, Russell, Lang, and Lang.
Decency, I guess. At least nobody came along this week and hung dog tags around my neck.
Well, I lost faith in George Camp on that last race. He had 3 of them out, and he gave the green flag. What happened there?
I don't know. He definitely tried to knock us off balance.
He
and
threw
sure
a
worked.
curve.
Yeah.
But he didn't knock Ivan Russell and Carl Trimmer off balance.
Russell didn't fall for it at all.
No,
for sure.
Oh, they
bolted into the lead, but
they
could
look
not
good,
hang
Tom.
on to it. Yeah, they sure do, and they look good to George Camp, too. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Off and running, USAC midget-wise, under the green, and look at him. Oh, nice little crisscross scissors move up there between the top 2 flighters in this one. In turn 1, Ricky Johnson and Kent Zimmerman going at it, and they've got real close company right behind them as they come around the start-finish line for the first full lap and into lap 2. That's Johnson of Phoenix in the lead in that number 15 machine. Kent Zimmerman, who was right up there with him in the early on. Oh, we got a nice little bump going on there in turn 2. But both drivers involved in that able to keep her under control. I'll tell you, these open wheels just give me chill after chill after chill. 38A, Kent Zimmerman in chase. Pair of Phoenicians at the top in this one with Tucson and La Jolla Payne in number 77 in third place as we roll into lap number 3.
Ricky Johnson jumping right out in front at the beginning of this one, but Kent Zimmerman hanging right in there on his heels. Also Ernie Payne trying to catch up to Kent Zimmerman. Let's see what happens as they head down the back straightaway for turn number 3 and 4.
And Dave Strickland in 79 was in 4th place, but he in 377, Ernie Payne, suddenly lost a whole bunch of power back there in that turn 3 area. And so he's heading out of here, giving the indication that he wants to retire to the pit fields, and so he has. As we roll into lap 5, Payne is rolling into the pit fields, and Ricky Johnson continues to roll in the lead in this one until Kent Zimmerman snatches it away from him in the 38A USAC midget car. So there's been a change at the front. Dave Strickland now in 2nd place in the 79 machine. So Ricky has fallen off tremendously too, but at least he is still out here as we look now into lap number 6. Kent Zimmerman of Phoenix in the Denna and Merrill Zimmerman car in the lead, the 38A machine. Dave Strickland giving chase right now, and John Hibner in 5A has pulled up into 3rd place as we take a look at the white flag lap. 1 lap to go. Hibner would love to close off on Strickland. Let's see if he gets the job done as they come fighting it out of turn 2 and into the back straight. Lap 8 for the end of the race. Checkered flag time for Kent Zimmerman in 38A. With a 2nd place finish going to Strickland, Dave Strickland in 79, John Hibner in 5A, and unofficially Steve Sussex in 23A, rounding out your top 4.
Something happened to Ricky Johnson in that number 15 car. Ricky was right up there toward the front during most of the race, but he fell off into the back of the field. Kent Zimmerman in 38A wins it. Let's give him a good hand, folks. Car number 38, Kent Zimmerman. And Strickland winds up in 2nd in that 79 car from California. Zimmerman from Phoenix. Hibner in 5A from Tucson winds up in 3rd position. Steve Sussex in that number 23A car from Las Cruces, New Mexico. 5, the Flower the Skunk car on the outside of the 2nd row.
Tom Posey driving the 47 machine, which is called Killer Bee. Art Mankel in 76, and Paul Farrar in number 15, rounding out your field as we get green for the first time for these dwarf racers, and Frank Wright and Jim Allen do battle out of turn 1 along with Atterbury and Liebert trying to close things off too. Now Allen has dropped off in that for-sale number 13 machine, running in 3rd place out of turn 3 and up into turn 4. Here they come down the main chute over the start-finish line with Frank Wright, the Sorcerer's Apprentice machine in 1st place. Mike Liebert giving the best chase right now in that 25 machine. Jim Allen has now lost another position. He's dropped off to 4th place coming out of turn 2, and 3rd and 4th position have seen a little margin open up between them and your lead 2 cars. Here they come, Wright and Liebert in that order. At the top with 76, Art Mankel. I'll tell you what, he's battled his way up through the field pretty doggone good, Jack, and he's looking real nice right now in 3rd place, just in front of Jim Allen as they head down the main or back chute here at Raven Raceway. Allen's machine again for sale, so check it out. Boy, you can turn that around real quick and be a participant in the sport of motor racing here at Raven Raceway. Now Frank Wright opens it up, and Liebert takes a hike heading off to the pit field with one problem or another. So Jim Allen regains 3rd place back in rather easy fashion, and now seems to be taking a bite at moving into 2nd place. He's battling for it at any rate as they tug their way up into turn 3 with Frank Wright and Sorcerer's Apprentice clearly in the lead in this one. Mankel and Allen now their own little 2-man battle, 2-car battle for 2nd place in this one.
And there goes Allen in the 2nd position right now as Mankel goes wide in that Jolly Tamale 2, and he falls back in the 3rd position as Tom Posey winds up in 4th position down the front straightaway. But look at Posey making a move on Manco right now.
That he is, in fact, doing, as Wright in lap 6 here has opened up a considerable margin of lead over the Jim Allen machine. Tom Posey closing fast, though, in 47. Posey has had some real good driving exhibitions out here across the course of this 87 campaign. Jim Allen there in the 13 car. Posey right behind him in 47, and then Art Mankel. 76 is 12. Rob Atterbury takes a hike and joins Liebert in pit field. Both of them, I'm sure, would attest to that being a bit premature. White flag lap, 1 to go for Frank Wright, Sorcerer's Apprentice, that number 2 machine. Looking real good here on a Saturday night, getting late in the campaign at Raven Raceway.
Well, the battle is for 2nd place right now as Allen and Posey are battling it out. Looks like Posey overtook him there on the back straightaway. Let's see if Allen can regain it or not. Frank White in the car number 2 wins it. Here comes Tom Posey in 42nd. Tom winds up in 2nd position. We've got one down over there at turn number 4. Jim Allen in 13 winds up in 3rd place in this one. And then car number 15, Paul Farrar, winds up in 4th position. Something must have happened to Art Mankel's car, Tom, in 76. He was doing real well, and all of a sudden he just fell back each and every lap of this race.
And what a smart move for Farrar to not get out of it.
That's right.
I mean,
Never
he
give
was
up.
so far back, but he kept 15 in it and kind of backed his way into a 4th place finish here in our first heat race this evening as Jim Allen goes by and waves to you. So there you have it. Heat number 1, Dwarf Racers. We've got Dwarfs, USAC Midgets, and it's a late is also for sale.
Oh.
That number 15 car is a late model, race ready, that is for sale here at Raven Raceway tonight.
Robert
Really,
Townsend, your pole sitter.
you're really serious about a racing car. There are a variety of them that can still be had here.
Pick up a program just before we give away those prizes.
They're eyeballing and taking a look. The starter flagmen are, and they like what they see, so we have gone racing. And a Phoenician by the name of Dean Vance has gone to the front of the class in that number 15 car. Dean Vance having a good run right now. No better thing to put on your resume than a recent victory. The resume, of course, being for a car that is for sale. Jim Harris over from El Paso tonight, running along in 2nd place and looking real strong behind that Vance machine right now. It's a 2-car battle at the front, into and out of turn 3. Here they come. Let's chart them, scan them through 4 and down the home stretch. Vance in the lead, Harris right behind him, then Townsend and Sipes.
Sipes bringing it all the way up from the rear now, Tom, and he moves into
Sipes has got him on the inside there, but it's only temporary. He loses it back by turn 3. Look at Townsend, inch it ahead, inch up, inch up, inch up. And he obviously inched it up just a little bit too much, and he's lost it and almost gets clipped by the number 9 machine of Bronco Billy Brandon. But he's able to drive through without any grief whatsoever. A tip of our Stetson to those trio down there tonight in turn 4. Dean Vance has got him some company in the form of El Paso and Jim Harris. Harris in the lead now. Vance in 2nd place. Rick Sipes thinking about it from position number 3, coming out of turn 2 and into the back chute. They've got slower traffic in the form of Norm Shepner ahead of them in number 11. Shepner wisely moves it out to the outside of the track. Harris, Vance, Sipes. That's how they're running at the top right now. Shepner has been slowed down. He's got some steering problem. Right front is gone, and so Shepner heads it off prematurely into the pit field. Hoping for a quick turnaround. Lap 6 already. It doesn't seem possible. Harris, Vance, Sipes. Look at Sipes right on the heels of Vance. He's going to try to nip him on the short side coming out of turn 2 and down the back chute, and he's able to get it done. He surpasses him. Sipes into 2nd place in time to catch the white flag lap behind Jim Harris over from El Paso. So it's Harris and Sipes now into the final lap here.
Can he catch him, Tom?
I don't think so. Harris has looked real strong right from the get-go. I'm surprised at Dean Vance. He looked awfully strong earlier on, too, but it looked like Sipes, in
didn't have all that difficult of a time shooting by in that last lap, and the checkered flag flies for Jim Harris. From El Paso, Rick Sipes, Tucsonan in second place, Dean Vance, and Bronco Billy Brandon, his first night ride in that number 9 machine. Rounding out your top 4.
Jim Harris in that car number 54 had it just about the whole race, as you've seen. Let's give him a good hand, folks. The car number 54 from El Paso, Texas. Thanks for coming here, Jim Harris. Rick Sipes coming all the way up from the rear in that Budweiser 4U car, putting on a good challenge for the rest of the front field. Dean Vance in 15 wound up in 3rd place, and Bronco Billy Brandon in that Southwest Stucco car held on to 4th place. What did I do?
1 lap more at this pace, with Jerry Coons Jr. off the pole position in 12A, Brett Randall beside him in 16, Dave Culp behind the wheel of number 90, Lonnie Sherman in the 77X machine, Glenn Smith in 66, Mike Burkhart in 22AZ. That's Denise Bennett, that little Californian flash, in number 95, and Donnie Byer rounds out the field here in our second heat race this evening for USAC Midgets in the 23X machine. George Camp, Bob McKinley got their eye on him, and they've got the green flag on him, and here we go. Another USAC Midget heat race for you that features some pretty fast stars, if weeks past are representative at all. And Tucsonan Jerry Coons Jr. enjoys the early lead in 12A in this one. Here they come, single file already out of 4. Jerry Coons in the lead, Dave Culp. We've talked a lot about him across the course of this initial 87 campaign. Culp is quite a charger, something of a fox in his own right, like Carl Trimmer in that late model division. Culp's a good runner, though, and he's going to make it interesting if he doesn't get drifted back too far behind Jerry Coons Jr., because Jerry is among the best. Lonnie Sherman in number 77 rounds out your top 3, and Denise Bennett, despite a late start in this one in the 95 machine, is currently running along in 4th place.
Coons looking real good, Tom. He jumped way out in front of Dave Culp, and it looks like he may just hang right up there unless Culp can really pour it on and catch up to him. We'll just have to wait and see as we head toward lap number 4 of this 8-lap USAC Midget second heat race here at Raven tonight.
Jerry is making it look rather easy, too.
Dave Culp, Lonnie Sherman, and Denise Bennett rounding out that top 4. Denise doing a fine job coming up from the rear, but can she catch up to the front runners? We'll just have to wait and see. Lap number 5 headed toward the books right now as Jerry Coons Jr. leads him down the front straightaway. Dave Culp closes it up just a tad, but doesn't look like he's going to catch Jerry unless Jerry has some mechanical problems or perhaps overdrives it a little bit. Coons down the front straightaway. Culp in second. Lonnie Sherman in that 77 car in 3rd position with Denise Bennett trying to catch up to Lonnie Sherman.
Time running out on this one. The white flag has been prepared for display by George Camp. And now he waves it to your lead car, Jerry Coons Jr. of Tucson. So Jerry has looked good right from the get-go and all throughout this one. In fact, this has been, so far, a very clean racing program tonight.
Denise lunged in the 3rd place right now as Lonnie Sherman falls back. The checker flag comes out for Jerry Coons Jr. Dave Culp also gets it. Denise Bennett winds up in 3rd place as car number 23, Donnie Byer, winds up in 4th position. Denise really put out a charge on that last lap, Tom. The winner of this one, though, from Tucson, Arizona, the car number 12A. Let's give him a good hand, folks, for a good job of driving. Car number 12A, Jerry Coons Jr.
Jerry putting a big smile on the folks who are Automotive Parts and Machine, the sponsors behind that racing effort of Jerry Coons Jr. He ran a 5th race in a 9-day span earlier this season out here, so I have a feeling, as we've been talking with all of the drivers here tonight, a vast amount of experience has been picked up in this inaugural kind of wait-and-see 1987 campaign. 3rd row is piloted by Phil Parker. They call the car Spiderman.
On the outside of the third row, the car number 24, driven by Ernie Payne from Phoenix, Arizona. They call him the Big Bad Wolf.
And John Kane at the back of the pack in car number 6, the happy car, and you'll see why shortly, in all probability. Even though he starts last, he never stays there for long, but oh my goodness, he was the cream in that Oreo cookie, and look what happened. The cream won, and the crackers went crunch into the infield area. I can't believe that.
Boy, oh boy, that was close. Old Mr. Hibner out there almost caught it. Well, the race continues. The green flag is still out right now as the number 40 car is in the lead on Dan Dittmeyer.
The car called Heckle.
John Proctor holding on to second, Tom.
So we had some early flack in this one, but it has not produced the yellow, which we have not seen much of. Thank God here tonight, and let's hope it stays that way. Dan Dittmeyer brings Heckle around the number 40 machine in the lead. But can he hang on to it? He's got company. John Proctor in Odie, 72 car, is currently in second place. Spiderman, number 8, is running third, and Randy Whidden down from Prescott in number 37 is currently in fourth place. Whidden got a little higher up there in turn 2 and got into that magnetized area. So he got slowed down and lost a little ground. But the positions stay the same. Dittmeyer, Proctor, Parker, and Whidden. Whidden works for the phone company up in that little town of Prescott.
Looks like 24. Ernie Adams, the Big Bad Wolf, has a problem with that car. He's trying to get back in this one, Tom, but he looks like he has some handling problems.
To put it mild, Dittmeyer continues on in the lead. Proctor giving chase, followed by Parker and Whidden. No change in the top 4.
Nope, doesn't look like that Big Bad Wolf's going to make it in this one, as he pulls into the infield as the rest of them head through 3 and 4.
Well, he went out and gave it a try, and obviously it's just not right enough to keep trying with. So Dittmeyer now finds Proctor a little bit closer to him than what he's had in the last couple of go-rounds.
Ooh, he climbed a wheel there, Tom.
Let's see what develops here. The open wheel syndrome. Got a pass up there in turn 2 that'll put Phil Parker, Spider-Man, into second place in that number 8 machine, just ahead of John Proctor in third and right behind your leader, Dan Dittmeyer. Dittmeyer. Parker, Proctor, Whidden. That's how they stack the top 4 now. The white flag is being hoisted by starter George Camp, indicating one more to go. 3 of them have made spectators of themselves here in our second heat race of the evening for these Dwarf racers. Dan Dittmeyer and Heckle might just be able to hang on and put her in victory lane here, but I don't think it's resolved fully just yet. Phil Parker in second and John Proctor in third place. Whidden will not change from that 4th position in all likelihood.
Uh-oh, look at this. Look out. 2 of them out, 1 over, up on his roof.
Goodness, there's going to be some homework done on that one over this week, to say the least. But he drives away from it to give us an early indication that he's okay. And yeah, he deserves a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for being so quick to get to your feet and do it, too. What a show.
How about that? Yes, sir. And look at that. Car number 72, John Proctor hanging in there and winds up winning it in that number 72 machine. Do you know there was only 2 cars left out on the racetrack after the checkered flag went out?
I didn't even see the finish on that one.
John Proctor, the Audi car, hangs in there and wins it. Randy Whidden in number 37 winds up in second place, and nobody wound up in third. Unofficially, we'll stick him in there somehow, some way, but some good racing action from that good group of the Dwarfs. That was fun. As long as somebody doesn't get hurt, that can be fun. Well, I think that's our first rollover this year in the Dwarf division, is it not?
Has to be. Has to be.
Please repeat.
51, number 90, the most patriotic T-Bird in America, inside row 3.
Outside row 3, car number 48 from Tucson, Lou Malandrone.
Ronnie Lutz of Tucson in car number 6 will be sitting inside the 4th and final row.
And on the outside of Ronnie, Jamie Throckmorton Jr. in that B52 car.
We've got green. Here we go. Stand on that machine. Green, Banghar into turn 1 in that order. Rapid Roy looking awfully good in the early on here, running along in 3rd place, coming out of turn 2 and down the back chute. He's got Banghar in mind. Banghart's looking at Terry Green, and Terry Green's looking at staying loose and running in the O'Reilly Chevy machine on an O'Reilly Chevy night at Raven Raceway.
What an appropriate night to win a heat race here at Raven in that car number 14. That O'Reilly car leading him right now. Banghar trying to catch him, but just can't do it just yet.
Terry looks pretty doggone serious about this one and looking real good in the early on, too, right now. He's looking rather awesome, holding off that 20-year-old Charger in the form of Paul Banghar in number 71. Lap 3.
Throckmorton moving up from the rear right now, challenging Roy Gibson. And Throckmorton jumps into 3rd position as Gibson falls back into 4th.
Oh, look at that slide power out of turn 4 with Green still in the lead. Pursuit given best by Paul Banghar, then Throckmorton, then Rapid Roy Gibson, and then it's anybody's race after that. Lou Malandrone bringing up the rear, but keeping it cool in a higher lane in that 48 Buick. Terry Green, Banghar, Brockmorton, and Rapid Roy. Lap 4.
Well, let's see if Terry Green can hang on for the O'Reilly folks tonight in that car number 14. Paul doesn't look like he can catch him, closes it up just a little bit, but Terry holds his own coming down the front straightaway.
I think Terry's got her flat out dialed in. And maybe he's found a new racing persona here tonight. He was so loosey-goosey down in the pit field, feeling no pressure, despite it being the sponsor's night here at Raven Raceway. So he's going out and doing his best, giving it his all for his sponsor tonight, as his sponsor has done for him across this initial 87 campaign. And there's been some tough nights for Terry Green. He's due.
White flag coming up, Tom, for Mr. Green in 14.
And he's a lap away from having it his way in the very early on here tonight.
Well, let's hope he can hold on to this one. We said he was due, and tonight just might be the night. Here comes Banghar and Throckmorton trying to catch up.
Unless something drastically goes wrong, it's going to be Terry Green out of 4 and into the checkered flag. Terry Green, Throckmorton, and Banghar. So Jamie put a nice little purge on there at the tail end, or should I say surge. And Roy Gibson rounds out your top 4. Green, Throckmorton, Banghar, and Gibson in that order to the checkered flag. Give them a warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. They just gave you a great show of late models.
And what a show Terry Green did. He had it from the beginning of this one. Throckmorton looked real good coming up all the way from the rear, winding up in 2nd position. And Paul Banghar at car number 71 wound up in 3rd. Rapid Roy Gibson, and Roy's from Tucson, and that Chevy 406 wound up in 4th position. Let's have all you O'Reilly folks and the rest of you fans as Terry Green comes down the front straightaway. Let's let him hear it for a victory in this 2nd or 3rd heat race here at Raven Raceway. Good job, Terry. I like to see him win. He was due, wasn't he, Tom?
That he was, and a nice smile and wave back from Terry Green, too, as he parades by the grandstand area here tonight. A very special night for that man, his machine, and his sponsor, and the racetrack, too.
Pole, Jack Yaley on the outside, Dave Burns in that 73 inside 2nd row, Jerry Rice, Scott Summers, Rod Downs, and Doug Nelson in 40. Here they come. They're on the green and down the front straightaway as Cactus Jack Yaley leads them around turn number 1 and 2. Yaley pulls out in an early lead on this one. Here they go down the back straightaway. Yaley's got a little bit of company as we sort them out down the front straightaway. Around turn number 4 they come. Cactus Jack leads them on down. In that car number 26, Jerry Rice, that gal driver, winds up in 2nd position right now. Looks like Steve Enlow in number 3X holding on to 3rd place. Let's see if Jerry Rice can hold on to 2nd position and catch up to Cactus Jack Yaley. Yaley leads him down the front straightaway. Jerry Rice trying to catch Yaley, throws out that line to reel him back in. Looks like Dave Burns in 73 is in third position right now. And Dave tries to take over Jerry Rice as they go side by side down the back straightaway, headed into turn number 3. And out of 4, Burns jumps in front of Jerry Rice and that number 73 machine.
Jerry's coming right back to put some pressure on Burns.
That she is, Tom. Falls back just a little bit, but she was side by side down the front straightaway. Number 3X looks like Steve Enlow from Tulsa winds up in the pits on this one. Okay, we'll sort them out down the front straightaway. Jack Yaley in number 1 leads them on down. Car number 73, Dave Burns from Casa Grande, Arizona, in second position with Jerry Rice right on Dave Burns' heel.
Distinct sound coming out of Yaley's cars because it is a Cosworth double overhead cam 4-cylinder, and they run at about 10,000 RPM, Jack.
Boy, it does have a distinct sound, doesn't it? Just a unique sound of its own.
You got a Volkswagen in second, and a Chevy 2 in third, so there's a good variety of engines. Jerry Rice just took back over the lead for Burns.
And that she did, and she just leaped out in front of Dave Burns and winds up in second position as Dave Burns in 73 falls back into third. You've got Doug Nelson from Tucson in that car number 40 in fourth position right now. Let's see if Jerry Rice can catch up to Jack Yaley. Uh-oh, here comes the white flag for number 1 AZ, Cactus Jack Yaley. So Jerry Rice has got her work cut out for her as one more lap to go in this one. Down the back straightaway they go. Jack Yaley leads him on down. Jerry Rice doesn't look like she's going to catch Jack unless Jack spins her out, and I doubt that. Here he comes for the checkered flag. Car number 1 AZ from Phoenix. He gets it. Jack Yaley with Jerry Rice doing a good job of driving, and car number 26 winds up in second position. Dave Burns in number 3 winds up in third, and Doug Nelson in that car number 40 winds up in fourth position. Good racing by that gal driver, Jerry Rice. And look out on the front straightaway, number 65, Scott Summers, losing it on the front straightaway. And Scott wants to do a little off-road driving tonight on the off-road course, evidently, Dave. Now, he just lost it there. Sometimes these fellows just overdrive it a little bit. But a good job for the rest of them, and congratulations. Let's let them hear it in the pits, folks. The car number 1 AZ from Phoenix, Arizona, the winner of this one, Cactus Jack Yaley.
In car number 23, inside row 4.
Outside row 4, car number 98, Ron Bishop, and bringing up the field in the car number 25, they call him Pierre.
Because his name is Pierre.
That's a good reason.
Green flag and Umphris squats. Boy, does that stack him up in the early on. Hey, I don't know what happened.
Something happened.
But it was cute. Umphris in 10, Marvin Catlin in 5.95 at the top, and Ron Bishop gets a little wild and woolly down there inside turn 2, and he's up over the lip into the infield, and one of our very few yellows here tonight, waving over Raven Raceway.
Very few yellows tonight.
That was an interesting start. Just as the green flag was cranking, Umphris looked like lost power. And all of a sudden, the guy who was up front was kind of squatted down in the dirt, and boy, did that bunch him up right behind him. Looked like Bishop got a little bit of a boost over there. Lucky Larry shags it out of here and into the pit field to get some quick attention. He hopes it's quick attention at any rate. And Bishop can't go anywhere. He is hung up on the lip to the infield under the Budweiser sign inside turn 2.
And the flag that George Camp has in his hand right now is a red and yellow flag, which means we'll have a complete restart because we did not get one full complete lap under the green. We did not get the first lap under the green flag, a complete lap. So we'll have a complete restart on this. So Umphris will lead him around again. Let's see what kind of moves Mr. Catlin's going to do this time. He just came from the back way on the outside, Tom, and wound up in second position.
So Bishop has not encountered serious enough or sufficient enough damage to the machine to not continue on racing. So with one spin out, he will be allowed to remain and be a part of it. Now, I'm not going to make note of Camp giving him 2 fingers.
Not anymore. He blew it tonight.
He's holding 2 fingers up, indicating one more lap at this pace, and then he'll give him the green.
We'll have to ask him a little bit later what that was all about.
I think he was testing us. Lucky Larry has not returned in the 77 machine. He headed off into the pits a couple of moments ago with no apparent problems to that machine, but that's not to say there weren't some.
I see him in the staging area headed back toward the racetrack, Tom.
He's coming our way, and I think in time. Well, probably not now. We'll probably do one more to allow Lucky Larry Davis to ooze that 77 machine. There he is now. He's on the track, but I don't think there's going to be enough time to get him lined up so that they're all kosher and George Camp can give us the green flag as much as he would like to.
And they'll try to get 77F of Ray Hansford. Ray, one of the pit crews, and Lucky Larry's pit crew driving that 77F tonight. So they'll put him back up toward the front.
So a lot of hand gesturing going on. Boy, it's easy to become very confused at this point, but I think they've pretty well gotten the indication from the flagman starter folks that we are going to do a complete restart here. So they are getting back into order. I hope that's not a wasted thing that we saw at the start of it, the initial time that we got off to a run here, because it was cute what Umfris did for whatever reason. It made it interesting into that first orbit, which we did not complete, as Jack said, and so that's why we are at a restart here with Umfris and Hansford, Lucky Larry Davis, and Hostillas, Terry Gibson and Marv Catlin, Ron Bishop, Gordon Sams, and Pierre. We've got the green again, and we've got bumpum cars going on in the early on, and 4 abreast. Lucky Larry had it all around him here as they crossed the start-finish line, but they all, with a little bit of shakiness, seem to have it under control, and so we will head into our first full lap here. Camp has the yellow ready just in case. I think he's feeling a little squeamish about this one, and I can understand why. It was a full moon start and restart. Catlin taking the high road up there in turn 1. Bishop, who had earlier troubles, is currently in 4th place right now, battling in that position with Marvin Catlin in the Fashions 5.595 machine. Umfris in 10, in the lead. Terry Gibson in 94, right behind him. And boy, I'll tell you, those first 4 are all close. Marvin Catlin and Ron Bishop running 3rd and 4th, respectively, in this one. Gordon Sams in that 23 machine. I affectionately call it the Cincinnati Bengal machine. Reminds me of a Cincinnati Bengal helmet. Rounding out your top 5. Umfris, Gibson, Catlin closing real fast. Catlin is. And look at that. They're running bumper to bumper up there coming out of turn 1, and even better than bumper to bumper, a 2-fender margin of difference between your top 3 runners there for a while heading into turn 2. But then it widens out somewhat down the back chute, although you still got basically that cluster of 4 as they come around turn 4, and Terry Gibson takes a rough ride up into the infield in the 94 machine and seems to be stopped down there. So that will bring out the yellow flag for a second time here in this one, as Gordon Sams has to head to the pit field with a rapidly disintegrating rear right tire. Gibson back under his own power now.
Umfris leading it right now, 5.95 in second, and Ron Bishop in 98 in second position right now, or third position right now, I should say.
Umfris, Catlin, and Bishop. Bishop's come a long way after getting hung up on that lip in turn 2 into the infield area. Thought he was taking a hankering to do a little off-road running tonight. Still a chance to grab a program if you haven't already and have a lucky program number there for We've given away 6 prizes, but we've got a lot more giveaways coming your way tonight, so get them together. Lucky program numbers, lower left corner of the rear flap of tonight's program. Programs can be found in our program/video booth at the right rear of the grandstands. You've still got time to get yours and your lucky program number and hopefully be a winner here tonight. Still a lot of prizes, as we mentioned, to give away.
Looks like they're going to put Marvin Catlin in 5.95 to the rear of the pack for rough driving. And that's what George Camp is out there right now doing.
Going to do a little one-on-one.
He already gave him the black flag and told him to go to the rear of the pack, but now he's going to get his attention out on the racetrack.
This is where I wish we had a wireless microphone stashed into the headset of George Camp so we could switch it on right about now. And then we'd have to switch it off right about here. I didn't see any real message given to anybody.
No, but I think he got the picture. He backed it up.
They knew when they saw that frame standing in the track that it's a lot more peaceable if it's got its mouth shut. And the best way to keep its mouth shut is do as he has indicated should be done and do it pretty darn quick so we can get this thing off and running, because that's what Camp is here to do, keep them running. Well, Bob McKinley jumps in, gives him the green flag, and here we go with Dan Umfris charging from the lead with Ron Bishop right behind him in second place here as we do another revamping on this one. Umfris and Bishop going 1-2 right now down the back chute. Marvin Catlin currently in fourth place, but closing awfully rapidly into turn 3. Looks like he may have the horses, but can he keep it off of the rail up there? He in fact does. Looks like he made a pretty powerful move up there between 3 and 4, and Catlin in the Fashions 5.95 special in third place and closing rather rapidly right now on Ron Bishop in that 98 machine. Umfris, Bishop, and Catlin 1, 2, 3 as we reach midway.
Haas Tillis in 91, currently in fourth position right now, but here comes Terry Gibson in 94 challenging him for that position, and he gets it as he pushes him up towards the wall. Oh boy.
Umfris, meanwhile, opens it up by ever so narrow a margin over Ron Bishop. No change positionally, except Umfris has now opened it up a little bit. Marvin Catlin looking to bite off the tail end of Bishop there, pass him up if at all possible coming out of turn 2. He may have a slight advantage positionally, track-wise up there, and they're all coming up on slower traffic in turn 3. Look at Catlin, put a surge on the outside. That was some good reading on the part of that young man. He saw what was developing with that slower 77F machine up ahead and what it could potentially do to the lead guys. And so that was Catlin's opportunity to become the lead man himself as he passes Lucky Larry in 77 down the back chute. In the lead now, Marvin Catlin with Dan Umfris trying to close it up, your one-time leader in this one. And Ron Bishop, who's been ever so close to the top, running a distant third right now in this one as we roll into lap number 8. There goes Terry Gibson into the pit field area right now. He's had a problem since that little joust that landed him up into the infield area, so he is off. Terry Gibson is getting an assist with the white flag now flying for Marvin Catlin. Catlin 1 lap away. Dan Umfris about 10 car lengths away as we roll to the checkered flag in this one, and Lucky Larry's got some smoke permeating from the tail end of that machine, so off to the pit field for him. Pierre there in 25. Ron Bishop, but it's the checkered flag for this guy right here, Marvin Catlin in the Fashions 5.95 machine. Dan Umfris takes second. Haas Tillis in 91 third, and Pierre rounds out your top 4.
Some smart driving by that Marvin Catlin from Tucson in 5.95, taking advantage of each and every opportunity that some of the other drivers were missing out on. And good driving. Let's give him another good hand, folks. 5.95, Marvin Catlin winning this one. Our invitational heat race for the NASCAR Chargers, a fun group. And cracking them out tonight, Mr. Boyd.
And we'll have some music, we'll have some questions, we'll have some answers, we'll have some special festivities and lucky program numbers. That's just what we know of. There's probably some stuff we don't even know of just yet that we'll also be doing at intermission interrogatory time, which is coming up right after this. In fact, we'll lead it off with Dire Straits. While they're singing their hearts out about walk of life, Dave Maness will stand by front and center in what will later on this evening be Victory Lane, ready to do a little Q&A, questions and answers at halftime. George Camp gives him the finger, indicating one more lap at this pace. Rob Atterbury, Jim Allen, Tom Posey and Frank Wright, Ernie Adams and John Kane, Phil Parker and Randy Whidden, John Proctor and Mike Liebert, Paul Farrar and Dan Dittmeyer. That's your starting grid for your main event, Dwarf Racers, here at Raven Raceway on a Saturday night. Let's cheer them off and running here as we anticipate the green flag from George Camp. We've got it. Let's give them a nice boost here by giving them a big round of applause and sending them off to do their thing with Frank Wright. Ooh, he did it earlier, and he's done it again, pushing that number 2 machine right into the lead in the early on here. Tom Posey in 47 trying to hang on to second place, but now he has lost that away, and if I'm not mistaken, it's John Kane in number 6 who has snatched second away from him. They get a little wild and woolly, at least Posey does, bringing it through 4, but he's able to keep it under control. John Kane has vaulted into the lead. Frank Wright has dropped off now in the number 2 machine to second place. Tom Posey still hanging on in 47 to third place, but now that looks in jeopardy. And sure enough, it is. He is passed up in turn 3, but your lead cars are stacking it up out of 4 now. Happy, John Kane in 6, Frank Wright, and then the number 25 machine of Mike Liebert. The Flower the Skunk car is in third place as we punch up our first yellow this evening for a downed machine up here in turn number 4. The number 15 car down up there. Paul Farrar at the wheel when he's not racing is doing his plumbing thing. And the plumbing Farrars sponsor the racing effort, particularly in that little 15 Dwarf Racer. Miniaturized race car with a motorcycle engine for a power plant. And yes, they do crank it up down the main straightaway and the back straight here, 75, maybe 80 miles an hour. They are open wheel, and when the open wheels get interlocked, they do the same thing the big machines do. Quite often, they go catapulting through the air, end for end. We saw a most unusual flipping situation in a Dwarf Racer tonight out of turn 4, taking a ramp exit there that was non-existent and flipping it several times only to drive away very quickly and out from under it to let us know that everything's okay, which is more than we can say for Tom Posey. He's got something going wrong on the rear end of that machine, and he may not be able to see it. Or if he does see it, he isn't going to want to, because it's bad news. Some heavy smoking going on the right rear, so we'll keep a close eye and ear on the Posey machine and see what happens there. Although I think our officials, having seen that the last go around, have decided to extend the yellow just a little bit longer here and maybe take an extra scan to get things sorted out, and also to do some rearranging out there, as you see. Is that Ray Judy up in 4? Ray Judy getting them in order. And Posey smoking just a little bit more than what he was the last go around. I don't know if he's just got something rubbing or... Can't be doing it any good. I don't know if that's just a tire rub or if they've got a metal-to-metal situation under there, but you can bet our officials are watching that one extra close and probably making some decisions right now as to whether it stays and plays or goes off for some assist. George has made no move to the green, so apparently they're going to be brought around under the yellow at least once more. Another chance to scan the Posey car, although...
Boy, he was really smoking, Tom. What did it look like to you, a tire rubbing?
It looked like it might just be a tire rub. Producing that much smoke, you would have to think that it couldn't be a metal situation. I don't know, maybe we can tell a little bit more here. It doesn't seem to be affecting his handling any. I don't know if it's just that little guard bumper rail or not, but at any rate, he's out of here and seeking what he hopes will be quick turnaround help.
Perhaps he didn't realize that it was rubbing, and that's why the officials stopped him over there at turn number 4. Well, they're trying to pull the bar away from his tire. Let's see if George is going to go to the green. Yep, he does.
John Kane and Happy will like that. Frank Wright may like it too, but not as much as Mike Liebert. Flower the Skunk is going to like it, and so he powers it into second place behind John Kane. Kane always runs well in his Dwarf Racer out here at Raven Raceway all season long. As we roll into lap number 3, John Kane and Happy in the lead. Flower the Skunk in hot pursuit. And then the 72 machine of John Proctor, the Odie car, is running by itself right now in third place.
That big bad wolf of Ernie Adams in 24 is holding on to 4th position right now, putting a challenge on that John Proctor 72 car.
John Kane has just been an awesome runner throughout this initial campaign. Although right now, Leibert's giving him plenty of heat in that second position. You know, Kane is obviously sitting there knowing that it's anything but locked up just yet. Halfway, midway, that's the red and white, red and yellow crisscross of George Camp. His indication that these guys have reached the midway point. Ernie Adams, 24, trying to close it off and power his way past Proctor and into third place. Unable to get it done on this go-around. The black flag is out, being given to number 40. He's got a left wheel flopping away under there. Dan Dittmeyer in number 40 out of here with a wobbly wheel. So attrition slaps out and grabs another one. Main event time for Dwarf Racers, and then intermission interrogatory time. Happy and John Kane, Liebert and Flower the Skunk, and Big Bad Wolf with Ernie Adams at the wheel. Your top 3 contenders in this main event race here, and we've got one wild in 4. He's able to keep it out of traffic. He's going to be nose high though up on the infield lip down there inside turn 4.
And let's see if that's going to bring the yellow out or not. George Camp reaching for the white flag, Tom. So evidently he thinks it's safe enough. Nope, he puts the yellow out.
Paul Farrar in number 15, creator of this yellow cautionary period.
So we'll get the track cleared up, and then we'll be going into our last couple of laps. While we have a break in the action, Louis Gumsman, call home, you have an emergency. Louis Gumsman, call your home, you have an emergency.
Last chance, just about, for your lucky program number. If you haven't picked up a program, this will be our last call for you to get it done. We've already given away 6 prizes tonight via the lucky program number. We've got at least twice that many more to give away, and we'll do that in the form of a break from Dave Maness's questions and answers. Interrogatory time coming up right after Dire Straits as we go to halftime. Intermission, interrogatory time right around your corner.
Well, as you said before, Tom, Happy's happy right now, as he is our current leader in this main event for the Dwarfs, and John Kane in that number 6 car from Tempe, Arizona, the Arizona Motorcycle and Salvage sponsored car of John Kane. That Flower the Skunk Flower the Skunk, where did he get that name? 25, Mike Liebert is currently in second position with the Big Bad Wolf of Ernie Adams in 24, holding on to third place. John Proctor in 72 fell back in the fourth position with Frank Wright in that number 2 car, holding on to fifth.
Farrar getting the dual indication from Camp and McKinley to take a hike. His second spin is the reason for that. And so we probably are a lap away. That's the indication Camp gives the survivors so far in this. And you see the drivers respond back, indicating that they are aware this, in all probability, will be the last go-round before we resume racing green.
So Louis Gumsman, please call your home. You have an emergency. If you have not already heard us, Louis Gumsman, call your home for an emergency. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was waiting for that.
Anytime.
Any place.
Hope it was as good for.
Oh, yeah. George looks at him. What do you think?
We've got green. And John Kane thinks, hey, I'm just this much closer to another main event win here at Raven Raceway. He's had more than his fair share here in 87 in this division. Looking at lap 8.
One
of
move
10.
Proctor made, Tom, on Ernie Adams. Proctor just lurched right out in front of him down the front straightaway, but oh, they're going wide up there.
Awfully wide up there and ever so close, but able to keep it out of the wall. Thank goodness for Flower the Skunk, or he might have got upset and hissed us all. White flag lap about to fly for John Kane. Now you know why they call the car Happy. Happy to win so much here at Raven Raceway, and he's looking awfully good with time rapidly expiring in this one. John Proctor will try to close it up in second position in that 72 machine. We'll see whether he's able to get it done as Liebert and Adams have at one another, battling it out for third place in this one down the back chute into turn 3. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. The dual checkered flags fly for John Kane and Happy, number 6. Second place to Mike Liebert, Flower the Skunk, John Proctor and Odie in 72 taking third, and Ernie Adams, the Big Bad Wolf, number 24, rounding out your top 4 in your first main event of this evening.
Well, let's give him a good hand, folks, at car number 6, who's won this one. The car number 6, a happy car, John Kane. And Mike Liebert and that Flower the Skunk really put on some unique moves on that last lap in that car number 25. One up in second, Proctor in third, and Adams in fourth. So there you have it, our main event for
Okay,
the Dwarfs.
folks, just ahead of Dave's intermission interrogatories, questions and answers down front. Jack makes a pit stop. Robin and I step out onto the penthouse porch for a smoke. So let's all take a break. Bottomless beer wells, endless concessions like you've never before enjoyed anywhere. Of intermission interrogatory time, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is, Mr. Raven Raceway, Dave Maness.
Halftime. I guess that's what they call it, halftime. What time we got? 9:20. One of the best run shows we've had all year, and that's just been super. The officials and everybody and all the midgets and late models been cooperating 100%. We got a super good racetrack tonight. 2 main events to go. No semis tonight. We're running all the cars in the midget main. We're running all the cars in the late model main. Okay, we're going to do our question and answer period again. We do this every week. been working out real well. Your name, sir?
Michael Bryan.
Your question, Michael.
How do you figure on your roughness and otherwise? I noticed you fined one of the drivers last week for some unnecessary roughness, and there's been a lot of roughness out here because I've been coming out here about every night. We kind of want to know how you figure some of them are and some of them aren't.
It's a very difficult thing to do, very naturally. With the officials, we do have a Tuesday night meeting normally where we review the whole videotape. The videotape is also available to the officials to take home. We don't try not to make a judgment on that night because a lot of times that can be done in a hostile manner. We do review the tapes. At the end of the week, we will determine if a letter or a fine is going to be given out. Last weekend, with the incident you're referring to, there was a fine and there was a letter given out to put one of them on probation for the remainder of the year, and any further incident will result in either suspension or a fine. The type of thing that we're trying to regulate is naturally the very belligerent type of move which happened here, and it happened on a couple 3 weeks ago. The racing itself, the majority of the racing and the bumping and the racing, the racers have their officials they can go to. They know if they have a complaint that they will be acted on, and we try and be very discretionary there. It's a very hard thing to police and be fair about it. We have put some more teeth in the rules in the last couple of months by taking cars that spin cars out, moving them to the rear. We're having a good effect there, and the racers seem to be very satisfied with the things that we've been doing. NASCAR, your rules will remain here next year. Yes, sir. For you, we have one Goodyear cap and belt buckle from Leo's Auto Supply. Thank you for the question. Another question from Mike, right?
Bob.
Bob.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob.
Okay, I got two questions for you, actually, Dave. What's going to be your first racing date next season?
Probably the very first racing date will be April, the first weekend of April, if everything goes smooth on the contract.
Okay, and second question, you're going to have mud bogs out here again.
I have a meeting Tuesday night with the mud bog people right now. This Tuesday night, I do have a meeting with them. If we come to terms, yes, there will be mud bogs presented back out here.
What would it take for just like somebody off the street to get into mud bogs? Just bring what you run?
I believe so. That would be something you'd have to take up with me at the office. Okay, from Leo's Auto Supply, once again, 5 quarts of Pennzoil and an oil filter. Thank you. Next question. Guys having a good time tonight? How about that? There ain't even no clouds up there for a change. I don't believe it. Your name, hon?
Kim,
What's your question, Kim?
I want to know if they extend your contract for next year.
If they've extended my contract for next year yet. Well, I was downtown Tuesday. The people involved in this contract, we've had a lot of things to write up. Hopefully, maybe I'll have an announcement to make in the next 30 days. I really hope so. This for your mom and dad, a Goodyear cap and a belt buckle. Goodyear belt buckle. Thank you for the question. That's a real important one. It's on my mind an awful lot because I really want to be here and I want to do it for a long time. So if everything comes together, we'll be here and promote better racing. What's your name?
Duncan,
Duncan, what's your question?
what size motors they run in the Dwarfs?
Dwarfs. Okay, what size motors? I believe they are limited to 1,200 cc's. They're limited to 1,200 cc's. They're a motorcycle motor, a two-cylinder motorcycle motor, and that's their limitation there.
How do they start them?
I believe they have starters in them. So it's probably an old motorcycle type starter or something, but they're kind of cute, ain't they? Okay, here's for your mom and dad. 5 quarts of Pennzoil and oil filter from Leo's Auto Supply once again. How about it, Riley's? You down there tonight? Come on, Riley's, make some noise. Want to thank them people. They had a good field here tonight.
Good professional racer, winning stakes, how much they're...
What the purse is? As an example, tonight the late models are running for a $4,000 purse, pays $600 to win, and it breaks all the way down. 403, everybody pays the top 32 positions, and the same thing with the midgets. The midgets have I believe, a $32.50 purse, pays $500 to win.
What's the best way to go ahead and get involved with racing as far as getting a car?
I would depend on your budget. If your budget is minimal, I'd suggest a Charger or a mini stock. If you have good sponsorships and the capability of getting into a late model or something, it's a lot more money.
Cool. How about going ahead and doing some buyouts on claimers or something like that? Do they do any of that here?
We've had a claim this year. It hasn't been very effective. All of them has been claimed. Nobody sold them. So this year the rules will do some modifications on them. There may be a claim on these Chargers next year. For you, one Goodyear cap and a Goodyear belt buckle from Leo's Auto Supply. Okay, your name?
Jason,
Okay, what's the question, Jason?
why aren't there more female racers?
Ooh, did you hear that? He wants to know why there ain't more female racers. Well, there is quite a few of them, really. Compared to years ago, there used to be very few ladies that would try and drive a midget or try and drive any other car. We have, I believe, 2 girls. We have Denise Bennett here tonight, and we also have Jerry Rice that drive midgets, and they beat the boys a lot of times. Very good. And Pam Fetter, and we have Sheila Vanhoff in the Chargers. So they do a fantastic job, and they compete the same as everybody else here, and they do a real good job. Where's Jack? Jack. Got him on the run here. From Leo's Auto Supply, a Goodyear cap for you and a belt buckle for Dad. How's that? We want to thank Leo's Auto Supply for all the fantastic things they've done out here for their help promote racing. Your name?
Charles Grant.
Question.
Question is, if you've been an out-of-state racer for about 3 or 4 years, how much of a possible chance is there getting in down here?
An out-of-state? Well, I don't follow your question.
Originally out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. All right, I've raced for about 3 years before. How much of a possible chance of getting in down here?
All you got to do is come down here and run. Any of them can come down here and run. It's open comp. It's they meet the rules, or they can race on any given night. There's no stipulations from out-of-towners. In fact, we are getting an awful lot of out-of-towners now that's coming in due to the fact that a lot of the racetracks back in the Midwest are shutting down because of snow and everything. So we're going to see some out-of-towners here, that's for sure. $15 worth of Blue Streak ignition. Put that in your vehicle. Thank you for the question. Name?
Joseph Statham.
What's the question, Jess?
I was wondering why you guys didn't have a driver's prayer before the race.
Good question. Probably something that would be very seriously done if the right person would approach the pit area that could feel comfortable doing this. I would be more than welcome to invite them into the facility to do this. A Goodyear cap and a Goodyear belt buckle. Okay, thank you. Want to tell you something right now. This is very special. I think we can all be very proud. The Raceway opened this year on a lot of great hopes and expectations of putting some champions in the United States that would make Tucson on the map. I have a gentleman coming out here right now that deserves every bit of what he has earned this year. And I'm going to give you an example. The Sun Belt Series Point Championship was done on a basis of 7 other racetracks. We were invited to be in this series. It carried 580 drivers throughout the United States. The tracks involved: North Texas Speedway, Dallas, Texas; Heart of Texas, Waco, Texas; Battleground Speedway, Houston, Texas; Huntsville Speedway, Alabama; Talladega, Alabama Speedway; Volusia County Speedway, Daytona Beach, Florida; DeSoto Speedway, Bradenton, Florida; Raven Raceway, Tucson, Arizona; and right here is your 1987 NASCAR Sun Belt Series Point Champion, and I'm real proud of it. The crew here, Frank Buckner has owned many race cars out here. He had a dream the first of this year. We talked briefly. He told the people from NASCAR he thought somebody in Tucson could become the national champion right out of here. You remember that, Buck?
Sure do. I can't wait to see him again.
All right. We're all going to Nashville. This family, the Trimmers, and Steve Scheich from Performance, and Frank Buckner and his wife, and Carl Trimmer and Lola, we're all leaving here on November 14th, and we're going back to Nashville to the Nashville Awards Banquet. There is 7 Western Series in the NASCAR associations that are being invited to this. There's only 1 track champion from each one, or 1 series champion. Carl Trimmer has done a fantastic job all year. He's He's finished a lot of races. He's won 11 of them. Blue Circle Corporation, thank you very much. Bucks River Road Exxon, Danny's Racing Apparel, and has done a whale of a job on this car all year. Carl Termer's done a whale of a job driving it for sure. And I'm very proud that Tucson, Arizona has put a national champion in the whole United States our first year out of the ballpark. I think you ought to be very proud of it too. Carl, congratulations. Thank you. Carl don't talk much. He don't talk much, but he does talk a lot when he's in private. Take the time to go down after the race and congratulate this man and his crew for a fantastic effort this year and bringing home the national championship to Tucson, Arizona. Let's give him a nice round of applause for this team. We thank you all. Let's roll the main event. Brady Midgets got called.
Laurie Gumsman, you are asked to please call home. Laurie Gumsman, please give him a call at home. You've got your lucky program numbers handy. We'll stand by to give you some more lucky program numbers right after we go down one more time to Dave Maness.
Just a couple more things I want to remind you. We just got confirmation from more of the wing sprint cars coming in. Keith Hall and I had a conversation a while ago. We have Richard Griffin definitely going to be here. We have another guy named Johnny Herrera out of Texas that is going to be here. I think the show will be the best wing sprint car show, I know it will be, that's ever been put on a facility here, mainly because of the racetrack. I think you're going to see some fantastic speeds. Richard Griffin has proven that. So I want to make sure you're invited to that. The other thing is, I want to thank you all. It's winding down. This is Raven Raceway's first year. We've tried to do our best for you spectators, my employees, my staff, everybody involved in this facility, from officials right on down the line, have tried to make this a family sport in Tucson again. We have a lot of expansion to do this winter. We are going to do it. There's no doubt in my mind. We're going to expand the stands. We're going to expand Stomper Hill and do a lot of other things. So thanks for your support all year. We got about 7 races to go. Keep coming. Let's finish the year off with the biggest bang we ever had. And I promise you I'll do much better next year. Thank you very much. Your main event will be right out.
The car number 3X, sponsored by Factory One, is Steve Enlow.
Next up, the 77 USAC Midget with Ernie La Jolla Payne of Tucson at the wheel.
In the car, number 20 from Phoenix, Arizona, owner Ron Neville. Car number 20 from Phoenix, Doug Lake.
The 22 AZ machine, also down from Phoenix tonight, sponsored by Cobra Paint and Paisley Contracting up at the other end of our interstate with Mike Burkhart at the wheel.
In the car number 66 from Tucson, owner Grandpa Smith, sponsored by Mystic Boat Works and Jim Allen Painting and Dr. Gordon Langston, Ashton Construction and Ironworks. Car number 66, Glenn Smith.
The 96 machine, also from Tucson, with Rod Downs at the wheel.
In the car number 65 from Mesa, Arizona, Scott Summers.
The 15, also down from Phoenix tonight, with Ricky Johnson at the wheel.
In the car number 11 from Tulsa, Oklahoma, sponsored by Mike Brooks Racing, Mike Brooks.
77X, also down from the Phoenix area tonight, sponsored by Independent Truck and David Designer Window Blinds, Lonnie Sherman.
In the car number 23 from Las Cruces, New Mexico, sponsored by Alfred Ford in Deming, New Mexico, car number 23X, Donnie Byer.
Next up, the number 40 machine, sponsored by Arizona Cranks of Doug Nelson at the wheel.
In the car number 23 from Tempe, Arizona, car number 23A, Steve Sussex.
The 73 car down from Casa Grande again tonight with Dave Burns at the wheel.
In the car number 95A, sponsored by Howard's Hydraulics, Arizona Cal Connection from Industry, California. Piloting that machine tonight is Denise Bennett.
Inside the fourth row from Tucson, the 5A machine, sponsored by Jim Kane Equipment and Ellis Racing with John Hibner at the wheel.
In the car number 90, owner Don Nunley, sponsored by Engine Corvair USAC. Car number 90 from Phoenix, Dave Culp.
Inside the third row, the 12A machine from Tucson, sponsored by Automotive Parts and Machine, Jerry Coons Jr. at the wheel.
Another one of our lady drivers, sponsored by Ron's Racing Products from Tucson. Car number 26, Jerry Rice.
Inside second row, sponsored by Ellis Racing from California, number 79, Dave Strickland.
In the car number 1AZ, the outside pole position from Phoenix, Arizona, with owner Roger Williams. Car number 1AZ, Cactus Jack Yaley.
And on the pole, behind the Rawlings Plymouth Chrysler LeBaron pace car, owned by Dina and Merrill Zimmerman, down from Phoenix tonight, Kent Zimmerman. And there you have it, the starting grid for your USAC Midget Main on an O'Reilly Chevrolet racing night at Raven Raceway. Glad you could be out and be a part of it here tonight. Trust you'll be with us across the 7 remaining dates between now and our last date in this initial year, the 13th of November. So red circle them all. They're virtually all special events from here on in the West. Coming up behind the Rawlings Chrysler Plymouth pace car, that Chrysler LeBaron. You've got them 4 abreast here on the 26th of September and all set to go racing. What a sight. How do you folks like that? And you ready for some racing? Look at that. 4 abreast and 6 deep. -1. Brett Randall, having made a spectator of himself right at the outset of this one. So let's see what George Camp indicates to him when we want to get the pace car flying out of here. When we want to give these guys the green light and the green flag, and I trust an uproarious cheer from you fans in the stands tonight. We're down to this and the next main event, and then we're going to call it a night. So let's be loud and vociferous and stand up maybe. Maybe even get the Raven Wave going here for them at the start of a 30-lap USAC Midget Main event. Let's see if that pace car makes a bolt. Gonna hang in there one more time. It feels so good. They've dropped off of 4 abreast to 2 abreast. Once again, Zimmerman and Yaley on the front row. Payne and Enlow. Tucson and Tulsa on the back row. It's a pair of Phoenicians up front. A Californian on the inside of row 2. The first Tucsonan is Jerry Rice, who got her start in go-karts, sitting outside row 2 in USAC midget number 26. So the LeBaron makes its move, or should be. The green flag is in hand, and I think, Jack, what do you think we're going to do it this time, or one more?
We've got Cactus Jack Yaley over here at the pit exit, Tom, and that car number 1 making an exit right now. He stalled over there, and I don't know if he's going to be able to make it back out here or not. And a little bit tough luck for Cactus Jack.
Wonder what in the world got into him.
So they'll give him one more, give Cactus Jack the opportunity to get that vehicle started back out on the racetrack, but it's not looking too good, as he gets shoved up against the pit wall.
Tough break for the guy they call Cactus. Jack Yaley always comes to run and run well. He always seemingly does. And he will be sorely missed here at the start of this one.
Well, he may be back out, Tom, but not at the beginning of this one, I don't think.
He isn't going to make the start for sure. So let's hope he's able to get things turned around back there and out in time to participate in this one. But the word's come up that the helmet has been ripped off. So looks like he's going to be at least a while down there. Well, the Chrysler Plymouth LeBaron heads out of here. They get the indication, the drivers do, from starter George Camp, that this is it. He'll crank him around one more time and then drop the green. But plans go sour immediately, with 66 suddenly coming to a stop here in front of the grandstand area. That's Glenn Smith, Grandpa Smith, in a bit of a full-blown jam, and right in front of the grandstand area to boot. So we'll get some assist around here for him, and the flight pattern will continue for these midget men who are probably getting real itchy right now. But this might be, conceivably, depending on how things are stacking up for Yaley in the pit fields, could be a big break, Jack.